Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Wrestletalk Part 2. I'm your host with the most, Joe Lance, co-host JB, once again coming at you with more Wrestletalk. If you thought that we were done, we're not done.
We ain't never done.
We're not even close to being done.
We're coming at you
Part
hard.
2. This time we're coming at you with some old school wrestling music. I mean, Billy and Chuck.
Who doesn't like Billy and Chuck, man? They were hilarious. The wedding segment was one of my favorite segments in wrestling history ever.
That was one of the most controversial things in wrestling at that time. Because, people are controversial, about people, about, gays in the first place, much less in the wrestling business and just promoting it like that. I loved the wedding as well. I thought that was great.
I think the most controversial athlete after them was Orlando Jordan in TNA when he'd spray all that stuff all over him.
Yeah.
I think he's taking a little too far.
He actually wanted to go farther than that, and TNA said no.
I don't blame him, man. He took it to the limit, I think, man. I can't even imagine what he was thinking when he was even doing that. I'd have been embarrassed, personally.
He didn't
I don't want to come out and be like, oh, hey, I'm a wrestler. Check this out. Spray it all over me, look like jizz and stuff like that.
He didn't care.
Nah.
But that's it. That's what he wanted to do. He's actually gay in real life.
Yeah, I know that. I'm not offended by gay people. I mean, we're all entitled to our own opinions and stuff like that. But there's a difference between being gay and taking it to an outrageous level like Orlando Jordan did.
I understand.
Because I felt bad for him watching some of the segments, man.
Yeah.
It's like, really? You're going to come out and do this? That's what you're going to be remembered for. Spraying stuff all over your face. It looks like semen. I'd rather be remembered for being a multiple world champion or defeating legends or, like Randy Orton built his career on defeating the legends.
Yeah, the legend killer. The legend killer. The feud he had with the Undertaker, and when him and his dad, when they locked him in the casket and set it on fire, when he wrestled Mick Foley and just.
Oh yeah, he's had and Roddy Piper. I don't think he fought Roddy Piper, but I think he gave him RKO and him and Jericho fought with the Legends a couple times. He did
at WrestleMania. He got knocked out by
was it Ricky Steamboat or
it was Ricky Steamboat. It was Ricky Steamboat, Roddy Piper, and Jimmy Snuka.
Yep.
Against him, and he ended up winning. And then he got knocked out by Mickey Rourke, the guy that made the film The Wrestler.
The Wrestler.
You ever seen that movie?
I've never seen it. I've seen parts of it. I've never seen it in its entirety.
It's a good movie. You definitely got to see it. It's an interesting.
Doesn't he die at the end? That's what I heard.
They don't actually show.
It's our show. We can spoil it.
They don't actually show him dying, but it kind of leads you to believe it. But yeah, like. It was just, it's a good movie. If you haven't seen it, definitely go watch it.
I think Wade Barrett looked weird last night, man. Without the beard. I think the beard was working good with him.
He's had a beard for a while, and now
he got shaved by Daniel Bryan. Now he's looking too smooth. I don't like it.
He took one for the team.
He did.
He took one for the team. Vince McMahon,
probably made him do that.
He said, we're going to shave off your beard. And he's probably like, man, I don't want to shave off the beard. And shaved off the beard.
He shaved it off. But, speaking, we've talked about this already, the Battle Royal. But there was one thing we failed to mention, which was the failed powerbomb attempt by Kofi Kingston. He got Cesaro rolled up, or he did a flip over Cesaro.
He got thrown out of the ring, and when he was going out of the ring, he flipped over Cesaro, and he grabbed a hold of him, and kept it so his feet didn't touch the ground. Like, every time that he's in a Royal Rumble or something like that, he always does something crazy. Like, I remember the last Royal Rumble, he got knocked off the thing, and he landed on the table.
Yeah.
And then he jumped back from the table, and
he did the handstand, right?
Yeah, the handstand.
Back to the ropes.
And then the money in the bank, when he was trying to use the ladder was broken, he was trying to use the two things. I mean, he's always doing something like that, like he'd be good at that parkour stuff.
Yeah, but he's been on a losing streak, man. He just came back, got new tights, got a new look, no new moves as far as I know. I mean,
no.
Well, I can't remember what his finisher's called. What is that? I love the finisher, but
I know that one of it is called the SOS.
Yeah, the SOS, where he takes them and flips them over and then pins them, which Del Rio kicked out of last night.
And then the
boom drop.
The boom drop, and then he's got the
secondary
Trouble in Paradise.
Trouble in Paradise.
He kicks him in the head.
One thing that upset me about Raw last night is the fact that they had Fandango and R-Truth in the third hour. Man, the third hour should be dedicated straight to, the main storyline. There's multiple matches coming up at WrestleMania that could be the headliner, which is the Cena-Bryan match, the Punk-Lesnar match. Which they did do the Punk-Lesnar thing at the very end, which I enjoyed, because I'd like to see that as the main event for SummerSlam, but I know it won't be. Not over the title match.
But it was a dance-off.
It was a dance-off.
That made it even better. It was a dance-off.
I didn't,
R-Truth and Fandango in a dance-off? Come on.
Yeah, but all R-Truth does is come out and shake his junk at the camera and same old stuff. I mean, my respect went up for Fandango for stomping him in the ground a little bit, but Fandango was looking a little bit like John Morrison last night with the fluffy jacket, and I don't know, man. I really just want to see him drop that character and just be Johnny Curtis or whatever he's going to be after Fandango, because I think Fandango's over with, man. I think the phase is faded out. When Ziggler cashed in and the whole crowd was singing the Fandango theme that night, that was probably as high as they'll ever get. But
I agree.
He's a good athlete. He's got some great moves. I just think he needs to drop that character. It's just not working. It's almost like Disco Inferno, like 2K14.
Gotcha.
I don't really enjoy it.
So, out of any tag team ever, what tag team would you think you'd like to see come back? Any tag team.
That's a good...
Myself would be Demolition. Demolition is my favorite tag team. I wish, Vince McMahon, if you watch this, please, for the love of God, come out with a Demolition DVD compilation. I'm telling you, that would be awesome, because, the Repo Man, he did stuff with Repo Man. He did stuff with, Smash. He was Smash. He was the Repo Man. He wrestled for the NWA. I mean, you got plenty of matches with Demolition. They wrestled in a ton of WrestleManias and SummerSlams, and I mean, you got enough things. I understand that you may have, a feud with Axe from Demolition, but still, for the fans, do it for me.
I think if I had to pick a tag team, it would be APA, because I'm such a Bradshaw fan, man. And I knew they were there at the 1000th Raw and all that, but I'd like to see them come back full-fledged for at least a little tiny run. Give them the tag team champions, let them take it from the Shield.
Wow, wouldn't that be interesting?
I mean, Farouk, he's not that old. He's still got the whole damn gimmick going on.
Damn!
He shows up every once in a while and makes me laugh, and I enjoy that, and Bradshaw's great on commentary.
I remember when Farouk first came to the WWE, he had that stupid helmet on.
Yeah, the silver helmet, and he wore the blue. And then he dropped that real quick, man. And then did the Nation of Domination thing. And that kicked off the
That
Rock's
was hilarious.
career,
I don't care. I still laugh about that. Like, it was just so bad that it's funny.
He had a second name, but I don't think they used
it a lot. I don't remember what it was. It was so funny.
Something crazy, but...
They've had so many bad wrestlers. Duke the Dumpster Drosy.
Bastion Booger.
Man Mountain Rock.
Oh, God. Man Mountain Rock.
Aldo Montoya. Minotaur.
Well, that was just incredible, wasn't it?
Minotaur.
Those are almost as bad as the Shockmaster, man. I still can't believe.
Quang.
Oh man, you're taking me back now. Max Moon. Brooklyn Brawler's my least favorite jobber ever. I hate that guy.
Hakushi.
I hope he sees this and knows that I hate him, but that's okay.
Hakushi.
Who'd you say?
The guy had all the tattoos like on his face and stuff. Yeah.
Mr. Fuji was his manager, wasn't
he?
Mr. Fuji, man, he used to do a lot back in the 90s and 80s. Yokozuna, all that stuff.
The Red Rooster. The Gobbledygooker.
Ah, well, he comes back every now and then, man.
Oh, God.
Remember when Pete Rose dressed up as him and called it Tombstone for
Yes, that was great. I liked it when they had the old school Royal Rumble that one year. They had like all these old school like Iron Sheik and all those. It was great, but yeah. Trying to think what else we can talk about. Let's see here. So what do you think about AJ Lee against Caitlyn again? Do you think that Caitlyn's going to be able to take the belt from her this time, or do you think that...
Nah, I mean, they're in a tag team match. They're in a mixed tag team match in SummerSlam, but I just...
But the one thing I don't understand is they had this whole skit where Layla turned on Caitlyn, and then they never did anything else with it. Never gave an explanation to it. Nothing. You haven't even seen her since then.
Yeah,
So I don't understand. You know, it's like, why have that on there and get people's hopes up for nothing?
Well, that's almost about you know, how Hornswoggle was announced to be the Raw Anonymous General Manager. You know, when the Raw Anonymous General Manager came out, he started quoting superstars. I know one week I thought he was Stone Cold. The other week I thought he was The Rock, you know, blah, blah, blah. Then come to find out it's Hornswoggle.
Hornswoggle,
dude. I hate that guy.
You don't like Hornswoggle?
No, I hate that guy.
Oh, man. Hornswoggle's awesome. He gets in the ring and he'll give you the tadpole splash and...
I'd love to see RVD give him the 5-star frog splash.
He'd kill him.
Good. Well, I mean, didn't Sheamus F him up one time?
He's been effed up more than once.
Yeah, he's been effed up a couple times.
He's been effed up more than once.
I know, and I enjoyed it every single time. Every single time. Which brings me to my next subject, the Great Khali, man. I cannot stand that guy.
You don't like the Great Khali
I like his theme and all that, man, but...
He'll hit you with that chop and knock you out.
He was good when he was feuding with The Undertaker in the Punjabi prison match with Batista and all that stuff.
That was the worst match ever made.
Oh, that would have been a good match if it wasn't... If it didn't have the Great Khali.
That was the worst match ever. I'm sorry, folks, but that was the worst match ever.
I don't understand how Khali is still there. These people just keep him there,
He's still... it's because... people, I guess, still like him, and he doesn't do much because he can't really do too much because
he can barely walk.
He can barely walk because he
walks like this
because of how tall he is, and so I don't know. I kind of like Khali.
Nah, Khali's not on my favorite list. He's on my top 10 jobber list. He's like the king of jobbers.
I'd like to see Khali as world champion once.
I would stop watching. You'd have to find a new co-host for Wrestletalk because I would not host this thing until he lost the title.
I wouldn't mind seeing